What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and we have got to talk about this new unit that's actually incoming. I think he's actually incoming tonight. The new Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta unit. Now, I've not gone in for Gohan. I've got to make some determinations here because I have not received the new physical Gohan. I was tempted to go back in today because the banners end today, and I like to do that last minute hurrah. So I've got to make a decision. Am I going to go in for Gohan one more time, or am I going to save those Dragon Stones, arguably double it, and then go in for Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta? But before I make that determination, before I do any of that, we've got to talk about something, okay? There is a problem with this new unit, a big problem with this new unit. Probably one of the most egregious oversights in the history, 10-year history, of Dokkan Battle. We've had some oversights, but I think this is one that is so egregious, so insane, and I think a lot of fans are going to be with me on this one. This is so insane and so egregious that I don't think even 300 Dragon Stones is enough to make up for what they have done here, because we all know this is not Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. This, if you've watched the latest episode, you know this is Ultra Vegeta 1. And I cannot believe they got the name wrong. That said, let's move on to talk about what he does, because obviously I'm not being serious. But Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is actually pretty awesome. And the fact that he's mini and DAIMA means he'll work on a ton of teams. There's no overlapping units that has that name, at least at this juncture. And probably won't be for quite a bit of time. So, team-wise, he's Transformation Boost or Gifted Warriors, category Ki +3, HP 200%, attack and defense 170%. Gives himself an additional, or gives everyone on his team an additional 50% to all stats if they are part of Power Beyond Super Saiyan. But there's so few Power Beyond Super Saiyan units that aren't Transformation Boost or at least Gifted Warriors, I don't think it matters. I think near as it matters, that is just an insane leader skill. This dude is crazy. So after all is said and done, when you at least are on all those achievements unlocked, you are going to be at a HP 250% and attack and defense 230%, and that is a crazy place to be at this stage of Dokkan Battle. As someone who was here when 70% leads were a big deal, this is wild, absolutely crazy. Now, what does he do? How does he work? Let's start off with the passive skill, because the passive skill requires a lot of explanation, and I think it's absolutely one of the biggest benefits to him. So, right out of the gate, he's chance of preparing critical hit, damage reduction 20%, and foresees enemy's super attack for 1 turn. Now, I do want to emphasize that whenever you see that exclamation point, that one, that means it happens essentially 1 time. So when he first drops in the match, he's able to do all those things. Now, that foreseeing super attack is huge. Absolutely massive. And we need to talk about that. But we're going to talk about that at the end, because I want to talk about the rest of what he does real quick. A Ki +3, attack and defense 200%, damage reduction up 50%. Then, as the first attacker in a turn, damage reduction 20%. So, remember, he's going to see super attack. Keep that in mind. Then, as the first or second attacker, attack 50% and chance of a critical hit plus 30%. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you have him slot 1. This dude now gets attack and defense 200%, damage reduction 50%, an additional 20% damage reduction as the first attacker. So that's a 70% damage reduction, because the way Dokkan math works at the moment, all those are additive in the passive skill. So it goes like, I think it's all of his link skills, I think it's leader skill, link skills, passive skill, but they all kind of are in parentheses and added up together. So that should be about a 70% drop in reduction. That's going to be crazy. Then, when attacking, another 200%. So you're really talking about attack 400%. And when he's getting attacked, he gets a defense 200%. So if he's receiving an attack and producing an attack, he will do attack 400%, attack or defense 400%, damage reduction 70%, chance of critical hit 30%. Oh no, I'm sorry, attack 450% because I forgot about the extra 50% for being the first or second attacker in a turn. So it's in slot 1, that's everything you get. Now, let's get down to the other two caveats here, because after receiving an attack, he'll launch an additional super attack. Not a chance to be a super attack, an additional guaranteed super. So it's turn 1, he's getting a super. Turn 2, he's getting yet another, turn 1, he's getting a super. If he receives an attack before he attacks, he's getting his second super. It's 2 supers, okay? After receiving a super attack, he can get a third super. Or if he only gets 1 super attack and doesn't get a regular attack, he's going to get 2 supers. So you have the potential of having up to 3 super attacks. But bear in mind that he's able to tell where the super attack is happening. So if the super attack is a slot 1 super attack, and you have him in slot 1 anyway, and it happens before his turn, you have a potential of 3 super attacks on that turn before you put double attack in him. Now, let's say realistically you give this guy level 20 double. Probably want to go higher with it, and I'll explain why, but level 20 double is going to be insane because that's a 40% chance per turn to do an extra attack. That's 4 super attacks at his attack level, which is insane. So, at level 20 double attack, hit 1, he has a 40% chance of getting a second attack, which is pretty good. It's not insane, but it's good. Attack 2, it reduces, but it goes from 40% to about 60-ish%. Little better than 50%. Now, it does drop off from there significantly, but you're still talking after attack 3, a 75% chance. So once again, you will have, not quite 75, but pretty darn close, like a 70-ish% chance. You have a rock solid chance at level 20 of getting an additional attack off. Now, because of his damage reduction, you don't need to do a lot of evasion on him. He's going to be just fine. But the nice part is it still counts as receiving an attack. So it doesn't say the attack has to hit, it just says he has to receive. He has to be attacked. So even if you put a little bit of evasion in him, it's not important, but it's not a detriment. You don't really want to put a lot of crit in him because he's already getting a decent amount of critical hit. Though, in fairness, 30% is not insane. So a little bit's not going to be too bad. So you could sprinkle a little bit of crit, a little bit of evasion in there, but neither one of those are going to be massively impactful because I want you to bear in mind, chance for any critical hit, 30% is per attack. So odds are by the end of getting 4 attacks, one of those attacks is very, very likely to be a crit. Now, if you sprinkle a little bit of crit on there, you're going to be good. It's not additive. It's still it just dissipates off a little bit, but it does mean that you're going to get a little bit in there. So I'm going level 25 on this guy because by the end of the 3rd attack, you are really talking 75% chance of getting an additional attack. And I think that is insanely good. Even if you only get 2 attacks off, it's still actually 2 attacks at 75% chance. And that is a 25% chance of that 75%. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's crazy good. So, 75% chance of getting a 3rd attack after 2 attacks. Even greater chance of getting a 4th attack after 3 attacks. Though in fairness, 3 attacks is going to be hard to obtain. Doesn't matter. Crazy good. I've harped on about his passive, and his passive is nuts. So, let's talk about what his super attack does. Now, he's not an LR. He is a Dokkan Fest. But, that's his active skill. Where's his super? Don't think it actually tells us his super, does it? Raises attack and defense 33% for 3 turns and causes immense damage. Okay. So, that's insane. That is insane. So for 3 turns, that'll stack. And do the math, if you get 4 of those off for 3 turns, this dude's going to hit like a damn truck. Oh. Unit is so good. Unit is so good. Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Royal Lineage, Prodigies, Limit Breaking Form, and Fierce Battle. So, Limit Breaking Form and Prodigies and Royal Lineage, But Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, and Fierce Battle are all phenomenal links, and you'll link those up all the time. Royal Lineage, limit breaking form, prodigies. On gifted warriors, you'll get prodigies. You might get royal lineage, but you'll probably get you'll get 5, 4 on transformation boost with power beyond Super Saiyan. With gifted warriors and power beyond Super Saiyan, you might get 5 if you're lucky. But still, that's going to be more than enough to push this guy beyond the brink. He's going to be so good. And he's got an active skill. So on top of everything else, after performing 5 or more super attacks, he can do an active skill, which raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy. Attack plus 33% for 1 turn. So add another 33% on top of everything else he's doing, because that's calculated separately. That I think, if I recollect, I got to remember my dokkan math. I want to say that active skill is one of the last things that's added on there. So that's 33% more than what he's been producing prior to this. That's not added into everything else. That's multiplied. So this guy is going to be nuts after that active skill for 1 turn. He's going to be just completely insane. Teams are Transformation Boost, Gifted Warriors, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 3, Pure Saiyans, Dragon Ball Seekers, okay, which makes sense, Time Travelers, Vegeta's Family, Worthy Rivals, Mastered Evolution, which, yeah, we can argue that, Accelerated Battle, Bond of Parent and Child, Okay, I'm going to argue Mastered Evolution and Bond of Parent and Child. I think those are, he doesn't deserve those, but whatever. Successors and Full Power. I think the 2 of those links are questionable at best, but the links always tend, or I would say links, the teams always tend to be a little weird from time to time. Nevertheless, this guy is going to be completely insane. Now, we have the animations here, so I'm going to pause our audio, and I'm going to go back over here, and we will pump this up. Let's turn the audio down ever so slightly. It shouldn't be mind-blowingly loud here. Let me just set this up real quick and make sure. Okay, we should be good here. Let's check this out. It is in the Japanese. So it's literally just the shot from the from when he fought the Tamagami. Yo. He's fighting the Kenpai Tai, dude. So we're gonna, I guess we're getting an event with Kenpai Tai. Actually, we already have them, don't we? Alright, we're back looping around now. So even though he is a TUR, I'll just let it run in the background. Even though he is a TUR, this dude is going to be completely and utterly insane. I'm going to turn his audio down ever so slightly there. So yeah, I'm... Man, I really want to go back in for Gohan, but I think I'm going to save for him. I've got to make a final decision. I got to see how many Dragon Stones I can farm up this afternoon. But he should be in shortly, and we're definitely going to be going after him. The dude is completely wild and just... I'd say borderline unstoppable. It's the type of unit that Vegeta really deserves to have. So, what you guys thought? Like, comment, share, and I'll see you again really soon.